Welcome to Mailbag, sweeter than sweet grandma's apple pie. I am this week by Foxy, Adam and Warren. Lads, before we kick off with the questions, I want to know, I was speaking to Greeny on Twitter a few weeks back and we started talking about the Rafa graph, where we are on the Rafa graph. So where are we at the minute after a few friendlies? 0 being digging out the bed sheets, 10 being digging out the Cardinal uniforms. Foxy, where are you on the Rafa graph?
About a 7. I'm a bit worried about some of the comments around Rodriguez going, because I think I'd like to keep him to play as a 10 and see Rodriguez at Goodison. It'd be quite nice. But other than the Hammers comments, I think he's doing pretty well. Looks pretty solid. Getting rid of some of the wasters from the team. Guys coming in look all right. So that's 7.
Yeah, got a bit of pacing, got some wingers, what we need. 7. Solid 7. Warren?
I'm about a 5. I don't think I'll ever get to the 8s, 9s. I want to be, but I just don't think I'll ever get there. But, you know, I think Foxy alluded to it there. Quite solid pre-season, haven't we? If not simple, but not very effective, but solid. But we all know come 20 minutes in and Southampton, that'll be the real test.
Yeah, if he makes it to Operation Goodison without a single boo, he's done well.
He's done very well, yeah.
Adam, where are you on the Rafa graph?
I'll go slap bang in the middle. I'll go for a 6. I'm going to probably get terrors for this. I'm not too fussed if James Rodriguez leaves because I just think he is a fantastic footballer. He is obviously one of the best that we've had in regards to just being able to manipulate a football in any way possible. I just think he's not what Everton need going forward. He's what Everton want and what Everton could do with. But if he leaves the club and we bring in someone else of the pace, directness, hard-working ilk, I think it could be a really good season for us. However, I don't think that's a real judgment on Rafa Benitez, to be fair. I think James Rodriguez was probably up and an before he came in. So I'll go with 6. Got a good pre-season. You just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I think that we all say he speaks well, he talks well, he's coming across well. And I think his recruitment, both staff and player, has been quite good. But I think we're still 3 or 4 players off. And as the lads say, he'll get judged a couple of games into the season. He's just always going to be one loss away from the fans turning on him, isn't he? So when that loss comes round, I'll judge him then. Unless we don't.
that one defeat, that's it.
Yeah. So August 14th, then,
yeah. Unless we don't ever lose. What happens if we just never lost again?
But still the first defeat after 2.5 years. He's out.
Yeah. Shite.
If Everton did an invincible season right, we draw every game and get relegated. That's what.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm about a 7 on the Rafa graph, to be honest, as well. I'm quite excited for the new season. I think he's the best long-standing issues in the team. This right position seems cursed for me. We're never going to get another right back. That was the trade-off for getting Coleman for 60 grand, is that you're never going to get another right back again, though. We've been trying for years and it doesn't seem to happen. But I think getting pace into the team, getting lads who can cross the ball and who want to cross the ball, it's what we needed. So I'm quite optimistic, which is a bit weird. So yeah, I'll say I'm hitting a 7 on that.
If you're optimistic, then I think that's a reason enough for everyone else to be. Because
never take your lead from me.
but in the nicest possible way, Les, you're a bit like me. You're like quite sort of positive outlook about life, but negative about Everton. Yeah. So for you to turn around and say, actually, I'm looking forward to it, then that's a good barometer for me.
Do you want to join me on a 7 then?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll promote myself up.
That's nice though, fairly optimistic. The stick seems to have died down a bit, doesn't it? There does seem to be a level of acceptance.
Yeah. Often pre-season's the best time, isn't it? Because you haven't actually got games to worry about. You've got optimism. You might buy this player, might buy that player. That player's going to leave. Yeah. And you feel quite positive. It's not till the season starts you realise that pre-season hope and optimism disappears. So this is my favourite time of the season. Well, when we're not playing.
If you think about it, this time last year we were 3-0 down to Blackpool, I think, weren't we?
Yeah.
We did manage to pull back, but it was quite a shock. And had that happened to Benitez,
forget about it.
The reaction, he would have been gone by now, wouldn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. And just one more thing on Rodriguez as well. I think if he does stay, he will have a lot more options than just Luca Dean on the left now. Because basically, season he had one ball to hit, didn't he? Cross field to Luca Dean, who crossed it in. Now he might have a couple of runners off him. So
yeah,
see what happens. But it would be a shame if we never got to see him. And ourselves to that. Time we go. Right, we're going to the hot topics then. Can we have an Everton player from the 90s?
Yeah, get in.
And if possible, a really shit one. I won't hold it against, but a really shit player from the 90s would be nice.
Okay, nice.
So the first question is, now this sounds obvious what the hot topic is, but it's quite specific. What should be an Olympic sport?
I've got to say the player, haven't I? I've been too long here, fellas. Sorry. I can't even think of a 90s player.
There was so many shit players in the 90s.
Yeah, all of them.
10.
I'm waiting for the next question. That's what I'm waiting. I'm going to see what these two come up with.
I don't know what the answer is to it.
So 90s, right, first of all, let's get the 90s player. 90s player out the way. Mike Newell, there you go.
Mike Newell.
Mike Newell. The early 90s player, yeah. Any idea what this is, Foxy? No?
No. Sorry.
Anyone?
Is this about, I know it's obviously the Olympics, but is this about maybe more some of the newer sports, like the likes of your BMX and these things getting a bit of mixed response, aren't they? Some people think it's brilliant. Some people are like, why is this I've seen a few comments floating around, like, this shouldn't be an Olympic sport. What's going on? The sort of snobbery about it. So is that what it's to do with, Leslie?
That is what it's to do with, yeah. I think they're great. And I don't know if you can get snooty about BMX and skateboarding when you've literally got people throwing a ball or chucking a disc. It's like, well, how can you get snooty about that if you're saying that's an Olympic sport?
Did you see the girl who won the gold the other day or yesterday, whatever it was? Yeah. We can't work it out with the time difference now. Did you see when she finished? She couldn't walk. She had to be picked up because she was just physically done. And you watch it and you think, that doesn't look long. It doesn't look that long a race. But with all the jumps and I mean, I'm talking as a complete novice, obviously, but she must have to do, for her to get to that final and then to win the gold, and then, like, she can't even stand up right because her legs are killing her. That must take some training and lower body strength. So I've got whole new respect for it after watching it this week and what they must have to do for training and go through. So I think it's wrong to look down on something like that. And this is the thing, when newer sports in the Olympics, they do get a little degree of sort of scrutiny, don't they, about whether they should be or shouldn't. I'm all for it. I think it's brilliant. And it's a really good race. Yeah,
and if you've ever tried to ride a BMX fast, it's dead hard.
Because they're quite little as well. Like,
tiny, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a proper mountain bike. It's a full on, you've got to use all that power in your lower body to go through, because they don't look that big a bike. So yeah, I'm well impressed with that. I think it's been really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it's that good. So what would you have then if you could put anything as an Olympic sport? What would you have?
I would have, because I'm really good at this, I would have when you go for a wee and you press the flusher, finishing your wee before the flush finishes. I am king at that. Now and again, I'll just be like, oh, go ahead, I'll have a go with it. Flush and then quickly finish my wee before the flush finishes. That should be an Olympic sport. A bit dodgy on the old broadcasting, get that. Yeah. Might not be able to show much, but I am king at that. So yeah, I'd throw that in there.
Does that come with a splash hazard when you do it?
I'm quite clean. I'll have, Foxy. I'm quite. You've got to have the right place to aim at, and I know where the right place is. Yeah, I've got a good target on me. Yeah.
Can you do it middle of the night when there's a possible twin jet scenario?
Oh, middle of the night, forget about it, because that's when I'm at my worst. So that needs a good morning first and a good drink beforehand.
I'm just thinking now how they would actually film this, and it would definitely be a close up of the bowl and just a stream of weed
over the shoulder, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that would be the other shot, wouldn't it? Over the shoulder.
It'd be a split screen, one of the headshots, and one of the bowl.
Yeah.
The headshots would just be like,
I'm fully invested in this.
So yeah, that's
one for the ladies, though, is it? Do you reckon you could make sport as well?
I think you could.
I mean, I don't want to get into that. I'm just talking about me specifically, what I'd be good at.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'll do.
I've never even tried that, and it's like
I haven't.
I'm gonna do it today now. Yeah.
All three of you are
I'm
going
gonna
to
do
come
it
back
now.
today and do it, and you're going to be like,
Yeah.
oh shit, the flush is
We'll
beating.
film it and send it in. I'd go for so it's like dog walking, but you're on a skateboard and it's like a race. So obviously you'd have like your dog that you train up over the course of the couple of years or whatever. And you'd have your skateboard and you're on the lead. You're on the skateboard holding the lead. So obviously you've got like absolutely rapid dogs, like greyhound racing with skateboarding integrated into it. And it's like the same type of track as the BMX and stuff. Because surely there would be some incredible crashes and dogs just literally running mad because someone's let go of the lead by accident. So
I'd be outstanding.
for that. Not that I've thought about that at all.
You've definitely tried this. You tried this with your dog, haven't you?
Honestly, not my current one, but my old dog. I used to go around the block on my skateboard, and it was boss, like seriously good, because it just run. You'd be walking the dog, but you're not even walking, and you're doing kick flips and that.
Class, banging. You could have like different sorts of size dogs as well as like your different classes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So my current dog would be absolutely terrible after about 2 minutes, but you'd have like Whistler's and greyhounds and that. It'd be fucking amazing.
Tell you what, this is better than the actual Olympics already. Foxy,
I reckon this could be a thing, by the way.
It definitely should be a thing.
I like the idea of that. Sounds brilliant.
Yeah. Foxy, what you having?
So I've got one I'm developing at the moment. It's called Wanker Eyes, and I've been working on it for the last couple of weeks. So it's when you go into a shop and you're wearing a mask, you've been kind of considerate of people working in the shop, and you see the people who aren't wearing masks, and I might offend people here or who are listening to this, and they're kind of just not bothering. And you give them a look, but you have to do it quite subtly, but you're trying to get a bit of reaction. So you score points gauging on the reaction of the person you're giving a look through your masks. There's no hand gesture, no physical face movement, but purely the eyes, giving them daggers and trying to get a reaction back, and you get points based on level of reaction.
So this is like performative, more like gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get scores like that, out of 10, out of 8, whatever they do in gymnastics.
Bang into that as well.
It's 6.7, he dropped his spuds and turned around, that kind of thing.
Dropped his spuds. Yeah, that's a sort of an evolution of the let-on, isn't it? With the mask, where you see someone, and they see you, but neither of you really want the stop and chat. You just pretend you haven't seen each other.
Yeah.
That's a subtle art.
You can get away with it because you can't give away a facial expression on a mask. So you can get away with it by just giving. It's all in the eye contact.
It's all in the eyes. It's all in the. It's typically 40-year-old plus male. It's all in his reaction. Has he gauged that you're kind of giving him a bit of a look, and what response do you get?
Is the idea that you want a reaction or you don't?
Oh yeah, that's where you get points.
Oh, so you do want the reaction?
You want the reaction to get the most points.
Okay. Yeah, bang into that. Yeah, 3 very good events. I'd have any of them. Mine was in real life. This was after watching the BMX, and I thought, imagine if you just like gave one of them a red shell or something in the BMX and like a bit of added jeopardy. I just wiped everyone out, and then they go reputed.
Can imagine you, Les, dropping your banana behind your car, someone driving over it and doing that, spinning round. And
yeah, the thing is, though, I always do that and then hit my own banana on the other one.
Yeah, on the way back. Les, do you remember? I'm asking you specifically because I think the other 2 lads are a bit young to remember this, judging by how young they both look. But do you remember? I can't remember. I can't remember the program, but it was a comedy sketch show, and Barry Davis commentated on it, and it was the ice turning the contest. Can't remember the name of the show, but Barry Davis, the football commentator, used to do the commentary on it, and it was like an animation of just 2 people just staring at each other.
Oh shit! Yeah,
and it was weird because he really seriously commentated on it, but it was obviously a comedy sketch, and I forget what it's called. It just when we were talking about that, then about when Foxy mentioned about the eye contact, that's what it just reminded me of.
Big Train, the boss.
Big Train, that was it. Yeah.
It's got a sketch show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
That'd be a good one. Ice turning contest. Barry Davis commentating.
Yeah, I definitely. And do you know what? I think we've spoken about this before, but we really should set up the alternative Olympics with the Blue Room. We always talked about that before. It should be a goer, definitely. Right, second question. So another shit 90s player will do. Because let's face it, that's what the 90s was all about, really, wasn't it? Bar 1 or 2 seasons. Most disappointing landmark.
Robert Vajika.
Oh.
Bob the Pole. I'm not writing that. I'm writing Bob the Pole.
And he wasn't that bad.
He was all right.
He wasn't that bad. But I just I wanted a really random player there, Les. So
yeah.
Is this the story? Is this the story about the Marble Arch costing two million and it's not ready or something, or it's
clean
not?
Clean sweep today, lad. It was ready. It's just shit.
Yeah, it's just that it looks terrible, doesn't it? It's just a big hill.
Dumped a load of grass in the middle of London for no reason. Just a massive hill.
It does make you question some of the thought that goes into some of these ideas, doesn't it? That's just £2 million gone on, and I'm one of them who go, why can't we put this money to something more useful? But I also accept that now and again, if you want to have something with a bit of class and a bit of whatever, then you need to spend a bit of money on it. But that for me is just what, it doesn't even look good, does it? It doesn't even look right. No, if you're going to spend that money, have it something that looks decent.
I am all for an art installation and stuff like that, but it is literally, if no one's seen it, it is just a hill of really badly laid grass with some trees on it in the middle of London. So the story is a £2 million artificial hill in central London being shut down after only 2 days following a barrage of criticism in which it was described as the city's worst attraction. Visitors who paid between £4.50 and £8 to visit the 25-metre tall Marble Arch Mound, which promised to offer a new perspective on the capital, were offered a refund by Westminster City Council after arriving to find scrubby turf, weedy trees, construction materials, and less than impressive views.
For £2 million.
Yeah. So yeah,
very British, innit? Very sort of if the lads from Phoenix Nights have gone down and built it, innit?
Potter would go down that hill pretty quickly, actually. Yeah, it is. It's basically what we've got to look forward to now. We're a sovereign Brexit nation, I think. It's as good as it's gonna get.
Happy days.
Marble Arch Mound aside, what do you reckon the worst tourist attraction is? Maybe one you've been to?
It's not the worst one I've ever been to, because I actually really enjoyed it. I loved being there, and it was like one of them things where I've gone, this has been in films, movies, and it's amazing to say I've been here. But I've been to Mount Rushmore, and obviously, as you say, you've seen it. It's been in loads of movies, films. Everyone knows what it is, and I was expecting it to be absolutely massive, and it's not. It's just not. It's the area where it is. It's in South Dakota, and it's a really nice area where it's in. It's all like forest and hills and stuff like that. But you look at it and you go, oh, I was expecting a bit more. Like, it's just 4 heads on the side of it, sort of cliff top. But as I said, very interesting. There's a museum there, and there's everything there about American history and everything. So it was absolutely brilliant. But I was just expecting a little bit more from it. But yeah, amazing to have been there, but not necessarily the worst. I mean, I can't really think of the worst one I've been to. I've been fortunate enough to have been to many nice landmarks. And obviously one's over there. I mean, the one I can sort of, and it's been in the news this week as well, the one that sort of springs to mind is Stonehenge. I know it's got a historical value, but I'm sorry, it doesn't do nothing for me.
It's very underwhelming, isn't it?
Garbage.
Bunch of stones. Is it still World Heritage Site? Have they taken that away yet?
No, they've not taken it away yet, because Everton haven't built a stadium there yet. So
yeah, Wickham or someone should say they're building the ground there, shouldn't they?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really not disappointed, that's the wrong word, just underwhelmed a little bit by Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, how big is it then? So scale wise, if you think like the main stand, let's say, how many main
scale?
You know what? It's hard to sort of quantify, because it's right where you go in. The museum's on the lower level, it's right up top, but it's not. I was just expecting it to be this big, wide, massive, and you walk around, and it's not really. But I'd say probably if the main stand was sort of, I don't know, a bit more sort of in the sky towards Bootle Way, and in the sky a bit more, it's about the width of the main stand, I'd say. But that's what I mean. So you look at them, and although the main stand's impressive, it's not.
Yeah,
you'd think Mount Rushmore would be bigger.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's probably the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, good one. Good shout. Adam?
There's like a BT tower in Berlin. It's called like I can't remember the German name, the Furnisturm or something. And it's essentially just like a glorified like 5G tower. And you go up there and you pay about 30 euros. And it's like just utter shite. It's just the bar in there, about 30 quid a bevy. And it's just like being in like, the BBC studios, but there's like loads of Germans walking around. Not a bad thing. But it's just like meant to be the most amazing view of Berlin. And like when me and my bird went, it was just like raining and then cloudy. So probably go for that. It's just not, as Warren said, it's a proper underwhelming experience with where something that's been dressed up to be the best and nicest views of Berlin, but just saw loads of clouds and was basically listening to news bulletins for the next 30 minutes. It actually is. I think it is actually like a news. It's like, it is just a shit version of the Radio City Tower. And the Radio City Tower isn't great.
It's not brilliant, is it?
No. So,
it just reminded me, we went to Panorama a bunch of years ago, and it was a night when Liverpool was just dead foggy. So we didn't have a view of anything. Fog on the window. It was just like, could have been anywhere. It was shite. But it is nice, the panoramic, like, but yeah, that was a bit rubbish.
The whole point is the view. Yeah,
exactly. You can't have that.
Yeah. Well, apologies to any German French enthusiasts that
they listen in the droves.
It's a big market.
Don't say anymore. Foxy.
I'll do mine from this week, and I'll do it based on my wife's perspective of it. So up in Scotland, and it's a car park in Stirling, which doesn't sound great in itself. So up in Scotland this week, staying with the in-laws, we hadn't had a night away since the Norwich home defeat when we were up in Liverpool for that. It's about 21 months since that Norwich home defeat. Went across to Edinburgh for a night, and we're thinking about what to do for the next day. I'm quite a big REM fan. Just recently watching a video of REM playing in Stirling in 1999, and I realised it's in the car park just outside the castle. So I could go there to the car park, see where the stage was, see where Michael Stipe and the band would be. I was like, what can we do the next day? So, let's go to Stirling Castle. We've not been there before. I knew we wouldn't be able to get in because you got to pre-buy the tickets to COVID and the restrictions are kind of pretty big. So we drove there, walked up to the castle, couldn't get in, but I managed to go into the car park where REM had once played about 22 years before. So I loved it. My wife was quite underwhelmed by that landmark of where REM had been. That's pretty cool.
Even when you said, right, I'll be backstage, you be Mike Mills, you stand there.
Yeah, you play the bass.
I saw REM in Portugal in about 1999.
Yeah, same tour. I saw them in London that year, but I didn't go up to Stirling. It's too far.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to them for years. I'll get back onto that. I think my one, it wasn't disappointing, but I don't think I appreciated it enough, was the Grand Canyon. It's really difficult to get the sense of perspective because it's so big. So when you're there, it's just like you can't get the perspective of it, or I couldn't where we were. It was amazing, but it's one of those things I'd like to go back to just to like see it again, to sort of see what I missed the first time round. But yeah, it was amazing. That whole trip was amazing, but I appreciated it enough.
And have you been to the pyramids?
No.
I've not been, but I kind of hear you get the pyramids, you get like a Mackie D's and a Burger King like 50 yards away, but that is still World Heritage Site, so that's fine because they've got stuff right next door to it. To be honest, I hear they're quite small and quite just commercialised.
Yeah, not as big as you expect.
No.
I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? Like Warren said with Mount Rushmore, these landmarks, because you see them on the telly and stuff or in pictures, you expect them to be huge.
Yeah, wide angle lenses.
As big as you think. Yeah.
You're probably a bit like me, Les, in the fact that you appreciate just what a worldwide like landmark this is. Everyone on planet Earth knows it. But it's just when you're there, you can't really, it's like you expected more, but you can still appreciate what it is.
Yeah, I think there's a sense of being a little bit overwhelmed sometimes as well, because you've got the expectation and then you see it and it's not kind of what you thought it was, but you're thinking, well, it is good though, and it's a bit mad. A bit like going to Everton on the first game, isn't it?
Yeah.